Hey, Shannon. Thank you for coming on this interview with me today. So, viewers, this is Shannon from Teepee Jamboree, and we are going to do an interview about her business, and we're just going to get started. So, Shannon, can you tell me about your business, how you started, why you started, stuff like that?
Sure. So my business is called TP Jamboree. Um, I started this business in 2019, February 2019. So next month will be my 5-year work or business anniversary, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, I started as soon as I had my third child.
Okay.
But at the time, I was having, like what I thought at the time was elaborate birthday parties for my other two kids, and just celebrating and decorating and planning two parties a year just wasn't enough for me. It just like, what am I supposed to do for the other 360 something days of the year? I wanna do this all the time. Like, I wanna use my creativity all the time. I don't wanna just, not plan parties.
For sure.
So came TP Jamboree. And I would like to throw in there, I get the question all the time, how did you name your business TP Jamboree when you don't use teepees like as my main decoration piece? I use A-frames, and
Right.
that actually came from my name. My middle initial is T, my last name is starts with a P. So
Hmm.
it was a TP Jamboree, like my name and Jamboree party. So it was a party named after me.
Right.
You did get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, it was just like looking for something to do that I thought was really creative, that wasn't as repetitive. I get to do
Right.
new teams, new kids all the time. So
For sure.
that's how it came about.
Sweet. And I just wanted to kind of clarify for anybody who doesn't know the terminology. A-frame are like the wooden tents that how would you explain the A-frame? You put your own fabric on there.
A A-frame tent is shaped like this,
Yes.
like the letter A, just
Yes.
no horizontal line. And the
Yes.
teepees are made, and it's two sticks in the front, two sticks in the back, like this.
Yep.
And then the teepees have four. So I think some have five. Am I making that
Yeah.
up?
Some have five.
Four sticks that are like crossed like this,
Yes.
um, to give you like that tent look.
Yes, for sure.
That's the
All
best I
right.
can explain it.
Yes. No, that's a great way to explain it. All right. Can you give us, so you're an entrepreneur, can you give us a little information about, your family life? Are you married? You did say you had three kids. I'm sorry. Um this is live, so I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
Can you give me a little bit about your family life, and if you do this full time, if you have an outside job, anything like that?
Oh, Carmen, let's get into it. Um, so I do have 3 kids, as I mentioned. I have 1 daughter, 2 boys. I have a husband as well, and we all know that having a husband is also having, like, extra work as well because, I mean, that's still somebody else that you have to tend to here and there,
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Um, I do work full time. I'm an NIH employee.
Mhm.
Um I have a PhD in pharmacology, so I am Dr. Shannon Payne, if you
Yes,
will.
it is.
But even with that, I get the question all the time, why, apparently people think I'm like rich or something. I don't know why. With this whole doctor title.
Yeah,
But outside of your full-time job, I don't care what you do. Don't you have something that you like
yeah,
like
for
to do for fun?
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I don't want my job to be my life. That's not my goal in life. This is like my creative outlet. This is something that has I am in control of this. There's nobody else telling me what to do, or there's no institution over top of me telling me what to do or dictating what I do. So that's where that came from. Outside of that, balancing the family life, if you even
I was just gonna ask you
take a
that.
look yeah, even if you take a look at my Instagram page, you'll see my kids and my husband here and there.
Mhm.
But as a mom, sometimes it's easy to be overwhelmed with mom life. You know what I mean? So I try my best not to show my family and kids. I have other Instagram pages where I show them a lot,
Yeah.
but I try my best to make this about the business or me or, the kids and the families that I service. So I try my best, to have my mom life, but have Shannon life too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It took me some years to learn that balance, but I think I got at least 80% under control at this point.
for sure, for sure. I wanted to see. My next question is, how busy are you? And
Mhm.
I know this type of business does go through seasons. I mean, you have your busy seasons, your slow seasons. But currently, after 5 years, how busy are you? And what does a typical weekend look like for you when you are booked? Like, how many parties are you doing? How big are the parties? Are you doing parties of two, parties of 20? Does it vary? Just tell me a little bit about that.
So I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible because if you know me, you know I'm a talker. So I think at this point in business, I am as busy as I want to be.
Hmm.
Now, I think some people were confused on Instagram when I posted and I said I only did 30 sleepovers last year. I think some people were thinking that I was like, I'm not getting inquiries, I'm not getting requests, or, things like that. I never really said why I only did 30 sleepovers last year.
Hmm.
And I only did 30 because I'm at the stage in business where I want the money, but I didn't want it to overpower my life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This business can be extremely
it-
busy. Like you can do up to at one point I was doing 4 sleepovers a weekend and it was just me and my husband.
Yeah.
Now I have a young lady, she is amazing. I talk about her all the time. I have a young lady that she is amazing. She helps me, but once she um started working on me, I had to tone down the business in a sense because I have kids with special needs and, therapies and things like that.
Mhm.
I had to choose my kids over somebody else's kids. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to shortchange somebody that paid me for my own personal life because at the same time they're still paying money. They don't really care why, you shortchange them. So if I cannot put my 100% into a party, I'm just not going to take it. You know what I mean? So at this point in business, I at the most I will take 3 parties in a weekend.
Okay.
And that depends on how many tents they request. So if somebody requests 15 tents, I'm not taking 3 parties in a weekend, you know?
That makes sense.
Um, I had one weekend where I did 23 tents in one day.
Yeah.
I was not taking anything else. That was just it for me for the weekend. But I don't necessarily know if it's a party thing that I try to restrict or a distance thing because if somebody is an hour away from me, I am not going to take another party that's an hour away from them and then a third party that's an hour away. I mean, at some point you just got to say, okay, does this make sense?
Yeah.
Is this conducive to what I want to
For
do?
sure, for sure. Did we mention your location?
I don't think we did.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So just for purposes of knowing where I'm located, we are based in Maryland, but we service Southern Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia.
So that's a lot of driving for you. So I just want to, so our viewers know that's why she said a party can be an hour away, because she lives in the DMV area. So I just want to,
Right, but where I'm located, DC is 5 minutes away,
yeah,
Virginia is 5 minutes away, so I can service all 3 areas,
yeah.
but specifically Northern Virginia, Southern Maryland, and most of DC.
Okay. Do you service Dumfries by any chance?
No, that's too far.
Okay, my dad lives there. I was just
Oh,
asking.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So I go
That's
all.
so cool. No, that's pretty far from me.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. All right. All right. My next question is, can you give me an idea of your packaging, pricing, sort of structure type of thing?
Sure, sure. So the minimum number of guests that we will service in one sleepover is 2. So
Mm.
our prices start at 250, and that's without any add-ons. So we don't necessarily have packages. We
Okay.
just have like pricing for a number of guests. So every guest you add on is an extra $100. And
Okay.
then let's say you want to do add-ons. If you want like a full balloon garland that covers all tents, or if you just want a balloon garland to go down the side of one tent, we have pricing for that. You can add on a paint package, personalized sleep masks, personalized robes, things like that. I see that we may be expanding to more add-ons in the future, but again, I don't like adding on things that I cannot 100% commit to. So
Yeah.
at this point, those are the add-ons.
It's funny you say that because you don't do spa parties, do you?
Um, no, I don't do spa parties per se, but you mean like hosting it?
Not hosting it, but like the foot baths and because a lot of people do that. The foot baths, and then you have the spa table and you have the mirror and all that type of stuff. Do you do that? I don't feel like I've ever seen it.
No, I don't offer that. Right now, I'm not really sure why I never branched out into that area. Honestly, I have never gotten a request for it.
You know
So
what? Oh, go ahead.
that.
I was gonna say, what's funny because I do offer it. I've done a video on it too, and I absolutely hate doing it. It's a
Mm.
lot. It's a lot of transporting because I have the foot baths and I have
Mhm.
tables. It's a lot. So I was just asking if you did it, and it's funny because I kind of regret doing it. So every time I get a request, I'm like, oh, like I'm just like, I wish I had just stuck to the sleepovers. Now I'm going to offer it because I bought all this stuff, but
Yeah.
funny, I just if I had a chance to do
Yeah.
probably wouldn't offer them.
I see where you're coming from with that. I can see it being a lot of things to transport,
It's
but
a lot.
honestly, I have never gotten a request for like a spa party, or I've never gotten a request for like a picnic setup. Some people ask for things that you don't have on your website because they haven't visited your website
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
But if nobody requested it, I don't think I'll be adding it on.
yeah. No, for sure. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um, so do you have well, of course you do. I was gonna ask you about other sleepover businesses in your area. Have you ever collaborated with any of them? Do you guys talk? How many are them? Can you just give me a little bit of background about that?
You said, have I ever collaborated and what else?
Just how many are there? Anything like that? Just other similar businesses in your area.
I have yet to collaborate with anyone as of today.
Okay.
There is a collaboration in the works. S- I can't 100% guarantee it because, once there's no paperwork signed, so nothing's set in stone, but there is a collaboration in the works. Now, in terms of telling you how many sleepover companies are near me, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like Carmen, I I am so laser focused on what I'm doing,
Hmm.
I can't tell you what the person to the right of me or to the left of me is doing.
Hmm.
I have no idea. Now, I do know that other companies exist, but I really honestly can't tell you what they're doing.
Right.
I
Right.
have no idea. Like, I mean, it can be a good thing and a bad thing because it's like, well, how can you succeed in business if you have no idea what's going on in the field? It's
Yeah.
not that I don't know what's going on in the field. I don't laser focus on people, what people would call competition, which I don't even look at them as competition because I feel like what's for me is for me and what's for them is for them.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily need to focus on their business when I have a business of my own to focus on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to estimate and say that there's maybe
Okay.
eight, maybe, I don't know. And
Yeah.
they offer other things than I do. Like some of them offer the spa parties or the picnics, or they offer the full blown party setups and things like that. But I think that's what makes me unique.
Yeah.
I don't believe in being a jack of all trades and a master of none. I'm going to be the master of what I do.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
You know what I mean? And that's evidenced through all types of things that I delve into. This is not my first business. This is maybe my third business.
Yeah.
And I've been good at every business that I've been in.
Hmm.
So if I don't think that I'm going to be 100% good at it, not from the beginning, but eventually be good, like the top, I'm going to toot my own horn here. Like in my head, of course, I don't know everybody, but in
Yeah.
my head, I think my setups look good. You
Oh.
know, I think they look good. But of course, I always ask people, hey, what could I have changed here? Because if you're not willing to learn, I'm going off on a tangent here, but if you're not willing to learn or even take in constructive criticism,
Yeah.
where are you trying to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't even know.
Okay.
I
No,
have no idea what other people are doing.
I do have another question for you. And I know this is our second interview because our first interview didn't record the audio and we were going to edit the video. So we are going straight off the top of the head. So this question is really straight off the top of the head. I thought about it after our first interview. One thing I've noticed about you and your business is you're very creative. Even I mean, as far as the setups, yes, you're creative, but you have done some things that I have not seen personally that I have not seen any other business do. Like, for example, just your branding and your logo. And you're the first one I saw with GIFs. Is it called GIFs? GIF.
Yes, yes, yeah.
You're the first one I saw with that. You also did like the Jizzbit, like the is it called Jizzbit? The crotch charms,
The gibbets.
gibbets.
Uh-huh.
You did all of that, and then just your reels and everything. How do you come up with that stuff? Like, is that like how do you come up with those just creative ideas? Do you just I don't know. It's just how do you think of all
Carmen,
that?
first of all, I'm going to receive the great compliments you just gave me. So I'm just going to take it all in, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Honestly, Carmen, I oh my goodness, that is a hard question to
Yeah,
answer. And I say that because I get people say that to me in all aspects of life. Like,
yeah,
why would you do that? How did you think of that? And it's not that, it's never been seen before. It's just that I'm like, well, if they can do it,
yeah.
what's stopping me from doing it?
Yeah. I
You
guess
know what I mean?
it's business.
Like,
You just take. I don't. I'm not saying you take stuff from, but I feel like you do stuff in this business that I've never seen. Like, oh, like I never
yeah. And
for that.
it's like I think my main goal in anything is I don't want to do what someone else is doing. Then
Yeah.
you might look at me and be like, well, there's other sleepover companies, you're doing what they're doing. Yeah, that's a niche, but I don't want anything that anybody else has already done within my niche. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like when I wear Crocs all the time. I'm a Croc girl. Okay. I don't care where I'm going. I'm going to wear Crocs. There's Crocs sitting right in front of me right now. So when I go to these other people's houses, I think I have something that tells me I need to connect with them.
Yeah.
So most of the kids, when I go to their houses or whatever, I look at the front door. What's at the front door? Their shoes.
Yeah.
They have Crocs at the front door. They have cheer gibbets on their shoes.
Yeah.
They have their initials. They have everybody else's. Why you don't have me on your shoes? Why you
Right.
don't have me on your shoes? Huh?
Right.
Like, okay, so we're gonna make it so that when these kids walk out of this door, they're advertising for me for free because I give away the gibbets for free. Um,
You still do that?
I haven't done it in a while.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know why. I still have gibbets available. I haven't done it in a while. I need to get back on that. Thanks for the reminder, actually. Yeah, but I observe the clients. If
Mhm.
the main so let me just back up a little bit. When I first started this business, it wasn't as developed as
Mhm.
it is now. There
For sure.
was nobody putting full-blown balloon garlands across the tents. You might have most people were putting balloons on the floor. Like
Yeah.
they were called floor balloons. That was the
Yeah.
thing back then. I can't tell you who was the originator of putting the garlands on top of the balloon. I mean, on top of the tents. Most people were doing like 5 or 6 balloons on top of each tent, but the full blown balloon garland, that was not a thing. I
Yeah.
have no idea who started that. The At the time, everybody was using IKEA trays, so it's like we had to have these IKEA trays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you had to have the IKEA lanterns,
Yeah.
things like that. So it's like, why what who set these standards?
Yeah.
Who said we had to have these IKEA trays? Who said we had to have these balloons on the floor?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how can I make this? I always think of opposites.
Mhm.
Just take, I know we're live, take what I'm saying, and I'm like really, I'm an abstract thinker.
Yeah.
If the balloons are on the floor, they're down. How can
Yeah.
we make these balloons up?
Yeah.
If if everybody is putting these trays in front of the tents, why can't we put them on the beds?
Yeah.
It's like, how can we think of opposite of the norm, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like the gifts were really important to me because back then we didn't have cutouts on Instagram. We
Yeah.
didn't it's like you had to have a whole separate app to put your logo on your pictures.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to leave a whole nother app to put my logo on my picture.
Yes.
It's how can I put my logo on there?
Right.
Oh, gifts. Let me get
Yeah.
somebody to make gifts for me.
Yeah.
Bam, right there on Instagram.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm not gonna have all these apps on my phone. You know what I mean? So it's like I have been told so many times, how did you think of that? How did you think of that? Stop looking at other people.
Yeah. What's it
Stop
called?
looking at what they're doing. Because
Yeah.
you want to stand out. Because if, like I said, if there's 8 other businesses next door to me, why would I choose you?
Yeah.
And with the reels on Instagram, at one point I wasn't showing my face.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, my hair isn't done. I don't have on the perfect clothes.
Yeah.
But are we trying to be perfectionists? Of course you want to have your hair, look
Yeah.
decent. But if I don't have the perfect hairstyle, I can't show myself. But then again, you're ruining your business because if you have to go into people's houses and it's 8 other businesses near you, I'm going to show the person that I can relate to. I
Yeah.
know what you look like because I have to come into people's homes.
Yeah.
If I can, I'm going to choose the person that I know has, you know, a good personality, welcoming personality. Let me say that a welcoming personality. I don't want that bad energy in my home.
Absolutely.
Show yourself, show, what you have to offer. Because I say it all the time. I don't offer sleepovers, I offer an experience. I am the experience,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. I
I
love
am the
a
experience.
tagline. What's your tagline?
Sleep. I don't want to say it because I feel like I've seen other people with the tagline now.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's why I changed my logo on Instagram. At first it said sleepovers reinvented, and now I see other people with sleepovers reinvented.
Oh, and I feel like I've seen you with it first, and
I
I'm
I
like,
definitely
"Eh,
I'm not trying to shade anybody,
no,
but
yeah,
I had sleepovers reinvented first.
you
And
did.
that's why I changed it. I took it off. And now my tagline on Instagram, I think it says Shannon's a sleepover connoisseur.
I love it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like every time I look at your stuff, I'm like, man, and you do get this like feeling of like imposter syndrome. Like, man, I could do that. I want to do that. So I stopped looking at a lot of other businesses too. I just scroll and like I don't hone in on it or focus because then I'm gonna want to do it. I ain't gonna lie. When I saw you did it,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm doing this. I got to do it. But I don't even in on it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, but here's the thing, Carmen, that I like about you. I'm just gonna give you your flowers at the
Oh,
moment. Okay. Like this is what I do as well. If I so happen to see somebody else, I'm like, okay, where'd you get that? I'm not secretly trying to go behind
yeah,
their back
for
and
sure.
make my own and act like I was the
Yeah,
originator of that idea. Like you were like, hey, where'd you get that? You know, but the
yeah,
same thing I do with you, I'm like, Carmen, come on, I need some help. Like, how did you do that? Like when I look at your work, I know you're not like, borrowing too many ideas from other
yeah.
people. You may borrow, but you're not trying to recreate
Right.
what you've done. Like when I look at your work, I don't care if you have a logo on your work or not. I'm like, oh, that's Carmen. That's Carmen. Because nobody has I mean, your work looks like pristine.
Thank you.
Like if I was to say, I'm gonna put somebody's work in a magazine, girl, I'm putting yours. I'm putting yours
Thank,
because your work is just like pristine. There's no wrinkles. I mean, it's just perfect. And
thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I can almost I can name a lot of sleepover businesses just by looking at their
Yeah,
work.
for
But then
sure.
again, I have some people that I can't even tell you who they are
Yeah,
if they didn't put their logo on it because it's like it's almost as if they need to step forward and put
yeah,
that oomph,
yeah.
put your signature on it. You don't want
Oh,
somebody else's signature. This is your work.
exactly.
Figure out what your signature is. And I think that's what you have been good at.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I do want to I'm gonna give you guys the users a little background. Or viewers. Me and Shannon met, well, virtually met in a Facebook group for sleepover party businesses. So it's funny, you do have people where a lot of the times our work gets stolen or gets posted other places. And we know some people, we know whose work this is. And we're like, hey, I think this is so and so. And it usually is. So I'm just,
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, because you know their
You
signature.
know their signature. Yep.
You
Mhm.
know, like, Carmen, when I look at my own work, I can't even tell you what my signature is because I'm so close to it.
Mhm.
So, but when other people see my work, they know it. And I know
Yeah.
that for that because I have seen people steal. I'm going to use the word steal. I have
Mhm.
seen people steal my work and
Mhm.
advertise their business. I mean, advertise their work on Amazon. I have seen my pictures on Amazon.
Yes.
I have seen my pictures on other people's websites.
Yep.
And the only reason I have seen it because someone else said, "Hey, I know that's yours."
Yes. Absolutely.
That's your work and it's on their website, it's on their Amazon, and they're taking it and trying to sell it
Yep.
as their own.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wild business, man.
It it is, and you don't want to do that. I talk to my subscribers about integrity all the time, and you don't want to do that because if somebody books you based off somebody else's work, and you don't have all that stuff, because we have stuff. I've been in the business about 3 years. She's been in the business five years. There's stuff you can't find anymore, or
Mm-mm.
there's stuff that you've personally customized that a
Yeah,
person just really can't replicate.
yeah, yeah. I
So.
mean, I have Carmen, I can't even make this up. I have received from a past client,
Hmm.
she sent me a text message with a birthday party invitation.
Hmm.
On the invitation, I'm not even gonna say the business's name. I forwarded her the invitation. On
Hmm.
the invitation, I live in Maryland. The
Hmm.
sleepover was located in Maryland.
Hmm.
Somebody in Texas work was on the invitation, and they were saying that whoever was hosting the sleepover was gonna have that setup. And I'm like, "Oh, no, I
Yeah.
know whose work that is." And
Yeah.
she, "Is this yours? Because, I feel like you put your logo on everything." I'm like, "It's not mine, but I know whose exactly it is."
Wow.
And
Yeah.
the fact that a past client sent that invitation to me
Yeah.
says,
For sure. See,
yeah.
it happens to the best of us. It is a nasty. It, um, can you give me a couple? I don't want to say pet peeves, but maybe like funny situations that us as sleepover business owners run into. Dealing with clients, or some funny stories, anything that relatable.
Gosh. I don't have so Carmen, I don't really have any funny stories
Mhm.
because or anything bad that happened
Mhm.
because one, I'm not even gonna lie. When people send me inquiries, I
Mhm.
vet I vet people.
Yeah,
I look them up. I mean, they did their research on me. I do my research on them
I do too.
because I'm going into people's homes. So
I
I
do.
do my research on them. So,
Yeah.
I don't really get anybody that, gives me a hard time or anything like that. But I will say there might be like a funny moment, and I'll take that moment. This goes back to the question where you asked me, how do I come up with the ideas for my reels?
Yeah.
I do take those funny moments and I'll kind of joke about it on Instagram because, again, you want to be relatable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I don't want to view something on Instagram because I go to Instagram for fun. I
Yeah.
want to learn stuff. I want to
Yeah.
laugh. I'm not going there to just be at work. This is my work away from work.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean? So I'm going on Instagram for the mere idea of fun.
Yeah.
So I have kids I was mentioning last time when I went to pick up when I went to go set up on Saturday, the little girl, I mean, she was so in love with me. She was just like, talking to me, showing her toys. The next day when I came to pick up, oh, she gave me the meanest side eye, Carmen. I mean, that little girl was like, she's like, I cannot believe you. She's
Yeah.
like, you're taking the stuff? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's mine.
Yep.
So it's like, I take stuff like that and
Yep.
I'm like, I'm not going to ever say who the child was or who the parent was or anything like that, but I'm going to make it funny
Yes.
because it's like a moment in time. And I always like clock that in my head. I'm
Hmm.
like, if I really wanted to laugh at that little girl, why wouldn't anybody else? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I know it can't just be me.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
know kids see other people when they come to pick up and are like,
I
why are
remember
you taking my stuff?
for sure. Right. For sure.
Why?
I remember the
Or
funniest reel you did. I don't know if people remember, but it was, I don't know if it was a TikTok thing, but there was like, I don't know who he was, like a little boy, little bald boy dancing. I don't know if
yeah.
and you were saying there's always that one kid who doesn't want the party to end, and there is. I mean, you might come to pick up and you'll find somebody still sleep in a tent. I feel like it's rare, but you'll find it, and you're like, yeah, I still got to clean this stuff up. But I thought that was the funniest reel.
Oh, Carmen, I even have a reel where I was like throwing the blankets because it's been times where all the kids have been asleep and I'm literally like, all right, it's time to wake up. And they won't get up. And I'm like asking the mom and dad, hey, they have to go. And the kids still won't get up. I start deflating the beds with the kids and I'm throwing the blankets because I'm like, I said it's time to go. Like they never want to get up.
That is funny. You said I'm gonna deflate that bed with the kid on it.
Oh, I have, because I'm like, listen, and they still don't wake up.
That's so funny. I don't think I've had to go that far.
Yeah, they don't wake up. I
That's
haven't had that problem recently,
mhm.
but yeah, I've had parents still sleeping
Oh
in
wow,
the beds when I come.
I haven't had that. I've had a whole family sit and watch me the whole time I was setting up.
Oh,
I think that was super. Or cats. I think having cats walk around, or pets, or the children. Yeah, that's
it is nerve-wracking, because it's like, you want the parents and the kids to be surprised.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's if you see the whole process, like I am very verbal.
yeah,
So if for example, I nick my finger, I'll be like, "Mm,"
mhm,
or something
yeah,
like that. So if they hear that, they're
yeah,
like, oh, she's messing up.
yeah,
But if you're not in the room, you won't hear that. So you won't automatically think, oh, something went wrong. No,
yeah.
I'm just a very verbal person.
Sure.
Or like if you see the whole process, it's like you saw every little thing that I've done. So at the end, you're not gonna be like,
Yeah,
wow, you've seen every little thing. There's no
yeah,
wow factor at that point. So I've gotten to the point where I'm like, all right, everybody has to go.
yeah, for sure.
Everybody has to go
Oh,
because
I've never I'm so like passive and quiet. I've let a cat crawl all through my tents, and I'm just like, I'm
oh no, no,
so
no,
this. Yeah.
no.
My party assistants will be like, "Hey, can you get?" I'm
Yeah.
quiet. I'm like, but
Yeah, like, yeah, I totally understand. I mean, this might be something off the record, but I had to put in my contract, the animals need to be put up
I did.
because you just never know. I've seen somebody that got mauled by a dog. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
While either they were picking up or setting up and she had to go get stitches.
No, I didn't know that.
We'll talk about that off the record. But
Oh wow, that's
yeah, so it's like,
alarming.
you just never know what may happen. So I do request that the hosts put up all animals at least until I leave. And I also request that they, don't climb on the beds and things like that because they have nails and they might dig into the bed and put holes and things
Yeah.
like that.
Wow, I didn't. Wow, now you got me scared.
Oh no, I mean she had me scared.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Usually, I mean, what are the dogs that are, it's labradoodles that I'm dealing with, so I don't, those are,
Yeah, they're little cute dogs.
they are. um, can you give me some rewards? What do you find rewarding about having this business?
Oh my gosh,
Any-
Carmen. I can't name one thing. How much time you got left? Because I could go on and on.
all the time.
I think that the greatest reward for me is seeing how far I can push the envelope.
Hmm.
Most people will tell you the money is good, the money, everything is about the money and
Hmm.
things like that. But you know who's in it for the money and who's not.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I'm not in this for the money.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to make the money off of it, but if I was in it for the money, I would take more sleepovers in a weekend. If I was in it for the money, I would just throw these things together without actually trying to give you that extra, little decorative piece that sets it off. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So I think the most rewarding thing for me is seeing how far I can push the envelope. Like when I first did um my Wednesday Adams, I'm gonna use that as a no, I'm gonna use my JoJo Siwa.
Okay.
When I first did JoJo Siwa, that was when I was doing everything according to the standard.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing purples and blues and pinks. That
Yeah.
was the standard, you know what I mean? But the last JoJo Siwa party I did was maybe 2 years ago, something like that. I said, "I'm not doing this anymore.
Mhm.
I'm not doing that anymore." And when I set that party up, my business completely, oh my goodness, it did a 360. It did a 360. I learned color theory.
Yeah.
I learned about staging. So
Yeah.
I started pulling things from different areas or, different, I don't know the word I'm looking for, different niches.
Mhm.
And I put it into there. I learned how to extract colors and, learn pink is not pink.
No,
You need the correct pink.
you
You
do.
need the correct purple, not mixing all these different things just because it's in the same color family,
Yeah.
things like that. And the one thing I did with that JoJo Siwa thing, I added yellow.
Mm.
Nobody was putting yellow at the time in JoJo Siwa setup. And the yellow just made it pop. I
Mm.
don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but the yellow made it pop. I mean, my business took off
Mhm.
from there. Um, I don't know, it's just so many things, like, I
Yeah.
just like playing with colors. I like watching HGTV to
Mhm.
see how I'm not gonna give away everything for free, but I'm gonna throw this tidbit out there. If you are not getting the reaction that you
Mhm. Uh-uh.
you might have to cut out. And I'm frozen for some
You're I
reason.
think
Why
you're
is
gonna
this
come
doing
back
that?
here soon because I can hear you.
You think I
I
won't?
think you will. Or but
Oh, and it got me looking crazy on there
it's
too.
black for I can still hear you.
Oh my gosh. Idea where it just went. Maybe do let me see.
Did you just turn it on and then turn it off?
I turned it off just now. I turned do not disturb off, but it's still frozen.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I can hear you well, but I can't see you.
oh gosh.
Mhm.
Get it back. I think it's my phone. This is why I hate my phone.
You ask computer.
Yeah, my phone is so unreliable. I don't know how to get the camera back, Carmen. Like I can see myself, but it's
Mhm.
frozen.
I mean, it's okay. It's still counting down and I can hear you well.
I don't know how this will fare for your views though, Carmen, if I don't have my camera on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I only got a few more questions really.
Um,
Literally like one more.
okay. Well, at the how about this?
Mhm.
Whenever you edit, can you put my pictures up since I can't get my face back, and then you could just like put the pictures up while I talk?
So since it's live, I don't know if I'll be able to edit it, but I'm gonna try.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No idea what just happened.
You're fine. I can still hear you and stuff. Did your phone ring? No, you were on Do Not Disturb. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm on do not disturb now, so I'm not. It did ring. That's what happened. Hold on.
It knocks you off alive, but we're still live.
No.
So
Okay. I'm sorry. There we go. I can't get it back. I'm sorry,
it's okay.
guys.
It's okay. Um, were you finished with your last comment about rules?
I don't even remember what I was talking about because my friend called me.
It's fine. We were talking about rewards, but I do have like two more questions to ask. So I'll just, I'll ask them. And, you guys want to stay tuned for this because these are good questions. So you've been in this business 5 years, and I wanted to know if you could go back 5 years ago, knowing what you know now, and give yourself advice. What would you tell your former self? about this
Ooh.
business?
Um, I would say the first thing that you need to do is like don't just try to start. This actually might conflict each other. These might be conflicting opinions on what I'm about to say.
Mhm.
One, find somebody that has been in business for at least 2 years that is willing to coach you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean coach you like um give you all positive things. You need somebody that is gonna tell you constructive criticism, like be blunt, not
Abs-
rude, but
Absolutely.
blunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand that we may be in a time where people don't necessarily like to hear the truth,
Yeah.
but find somebody that's going to tell you the truth.
For sure.
Um, and I say 2 years because in business, you encounter seasons,
Yep.
literal seasons. And if you have not encountered that season more than once, you don't really know what to look out for.
Yeah.
Well, at least from my own experience. Some people may be better than me at recognizing things the first time around.
Absolutely.
But I would say there's seasons. I would also say try to do your first setup without looking or trying to replicate someone else's work.
Yeah.
Because, like, I always use this as an example. When a child is born, they have the most creative minds. I always see people say, now, why would that 2-year-old do that?
Hmm.
Because they have never been told no. They have
Yeah.
never been told that it's wrong. It's like you want to start with a clean slate, like a kid,
Yeah.
because for me, my main client is a kid.
Yeah.
So I need to think like a kid. If I know most kids are scared of the dark, why wouldn't I include lights on my trays?
Yeah.
That they can control.
Yeah.
Other people might want to turn their lights off, but I'm scared of the dark. And I don't want to admit that in front of anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm going to include the lights on the trays because I remember as a kid being afraid of the dark or, sleeping somewhere that wasn't my everyday place to sleep. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, um, I got really distracted just now, Carmen.
No, you're good.
One of my kids walked in. I don't even. Yeah. Okay. So I would say try to think like a kid. Try
Yeah.
to use, the mentality that I have never been told no.
Hmm.
Um, Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Another thing I would say, try to create your own standard.
Yeah.
If you like, I keep saying, if I was starting right now, I would probably think that I need those IKEA trays. If I was starting right now, Carmen, I'm not getting those IKEA trays. I'm not getting those trays. Like I keep saying, once those trays are done,
Yeah.
once they're all broken because they do break very easily.
Yeah, they
Once
do.
they're all broken, I'm not buying those again. I'm going to find something else.
Same.
I'm gonna find a different way to display those lights or, something like that. I just haven't thought about what it is yet.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so to just, summarize it, find somebody that's already done what you're trying to do
Hmm.
and try to create your own standard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. And do you do any coaching? Do you have any offerings for other sleepover business owners?
I do coaching, but I haven't necessarily advertised that yet
Hmm.
because I want to make sure that I am actually giving my potential clients what they want and need.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, I forgot, I should have said that. I want to make sure if you pay for 6 hours of my service, you're getting 6 hours
Yeah.
worth of information. Like I know for a fact that I have information that to offer that most people do not offer.
Absolutely.
As coaching, like we all have something different to offer. Like I mean, apparently we all have something different to offer because you can see everything different that we have to offer in our work.
Yes.
Like you can tell somebody, listen, you need to make that more polished.
Yeah.
You need to make that stand out. Your pictures, your pictures are amazing, Carmen. Like you
Hmm.
do amazing work.
Hmm.
But if I were to offer it, we will offer two different things. So that's why I
Yeah.
think it's important for someone to do their research, you
Yeah.
know, on what do you think that the person offers? Like, does this person offer in-person coaching or do
Mhm.
they offer only virtual? If we're local, are they going to allow me to come out with them sometimes so that I can have the hands-on experience, things like that. So
For
I
sure.
have not fully offered the coaching yet due to the fact that I'm not necessarily sure how I want to go about doing it.
Okay.
And what was the other thing you asked me? Coaching and what else?
Just anything that you offer to other sleepover business owners.
Oh, and I also offer pillowcases.
Okay.
Now, last year, that's when I began to offer it, and I was only offering my own designs that I made, which did very well.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I think that if you have a design that you would like to submit and you just need it to be put on the pillow,
Hmm.
submit those designs. I can get those out to you. Starting next month, I'm going to start advertising um, that you can submit your own design, and I'll have it shipped out to you.
Okay.
Just make sure you have it in adequate time. You can't give me the design on a Tuesday and expect to have it by Wednesday if you live in California. You know what I mean?
For
Unless
sure.
you want to pay the overnight shipping and things like that.
Right. Okay. For
Yeah.
sure. And where can they find you? How can they contact you? I'll also
Mm.
link, put her information below, but I'll just let you go ahead and tell us.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. My name is at TP Jamboree, TEEPEE Jamboree. Um, my website is www.tpjamboree.com. So I'm easily accessible.
Great.
You can DM me. I'm not one of those people that are like, no DMs. No, you can DM
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate that people do that, and I'm like, don't do that. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you
I'm
so
like,
much for your
it,
time.
we
Mhm.
have DMs for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Shannon. I really appreciate it. And any other final thoughts you want to say before we get out of here?
I would just like to say thank you for giving us a platform to have conversation.
Oh,
And also, even if I'm in business for 5 years, how many did you say you're in business? Three?
3. Mhm.
I have learned much from you. So you guys take what Carmen has on
Oh.
her YouTube channel and actually take in what she's saying. I'm not saying, replicate her work or anything like that, but she drops gems.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you can always learn something from someone else. Don't be that person that's like, well, I've been in business for 10 years. You can't teach me anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's like saying you can't learn from a child.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids and
Yeah.
and a PhD. I'm the smartest I ever been in my life, not because I got a PhD, because my kids teach me.
Yeah. For
You
sure.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, I am always willing to learn something new, and I think that we always need to be in learning mode.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. And I appreciate that. And that's another thing I do. Yeah, thank you for being a viewer. Because when I found out that you watch my videos, I'm like, she's been in business way longer than me. So
Oh, no, 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 that has nothing to do with it
it,
at all. No.
absolutely, I
You give things, you know, um, you even if I watch a video for an hour and I
mhm.
take away one tidbit, not just your videos,
I
any
agree.
video. If
Yeah,
I take away one tidbit of anything, it was worth it.
it's worth it. Yep.
It was worth it to me. And I have learned quite a bit of things. I'm definitely not that person that's like too good to learn something new at all.
I agree. I agree.
Thank you, Carmen, for having me.
You are welcome. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I appreciate it, Shannon.
Thank you. Have a good one, Carmen.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.